Hello, thanks for joining me on another episode of The Average EV. Today, I'm bringing a little bit different content. I'm going to bring you some EV news. There were two stories that kind of stuck out to me that I wanted to bring to you all, so stick around and we're going to check it out. All right, everybody. So the first piece of news is Hyundai announced the refresh of the Hyundai Kona. And they are doing the EV, they're redoing the internal combustion, and they're adding a hybrid option, which I think is going to be really, really interesting. Now, they haven't really released any specs about performance and range and MPG and all that stuff for the different variants, but they said it's going to come soon, and I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to bring. As most of you know, I am a Kona fan. We're about to get an ID.4, but I do love my Kona, so this story kind of stuck out to me. Basically, I don't want to bore you with too much, and there's not a lot of details to really bring, but some interesting facts about it. It's 6 inches longer. The wheelbase is about 2 1/3 inches longer, and it is about 1 inch wider. So it's a little bit bigger. They're saying that the rear passenger space is bigger, which would be nice. In my Kona, it's definitely small, but it's livable. But to make it a little bit bigger is gonna look nice. Let's take a look at some of the pictures they have. I think it's definitely going to be a polarizing kind of look here, but I like it. It's futuristic. It's got vibes to me of like the mini Ioniq 5, which is super cool. Here in the middle, you've got your electric, and then you've got your internal combustion engine. No, I think, yeah, and then this is the N line. I don't see the hybrid, but the hybrid's going to be a pretty cool option as well. I like the headlights just align. That's going to be interesting to see how well that works, or if that even makes it to the production. It looks like they smoothed out some things. The charging port's still front left, I think. Yeah, front left, just like it always has been. Got the rails, roof rails on it. Got some of the cuts, kind of like the Ioniq 5 has, which I like. I like the styling. I think the tires are a little bit bigger, so interested to see how that is gonna affect the range. Here's a rear view Kona. I like how the Kona is the big branding there, not the little branding to the side. I like the bringing the pixels back here with the rear lights. I like it a lot. I like the way this looks. Let's find, oh, here we go. Here's the inside shot of the car. Sorry, I didn't download them. I just want to look at them online. So I think what's most notable, first you see is that Hyundai, the 4 dots, which is H in Morse code, I believe, for Hyundai. If you look here at the floorboard, it's flat across. So one of the things Hyundai was saying when they redesigned the Kona was that they made the EV variant first, and then they adjusted it for the internal combustion and the hybrid. So I like that the wheelbase is flat. That makes me wonder how they are doing the battery pack. And is the battery pack going to be the same size as the old Kona? The old Kona was 64 kilowatt hours. I'm wondering, are they going to make the 68 kilowatt hours, and then they can use the same battery for the Kona and for the standard range Ioniq 5? I don't know, to make production and battery acquisition a little bit easier. I don't know. I'm just speculating here because it's that was one of the reasons why there was so little space in the like my Kona Electric, because of the battery pack. And then if you look here, this kind of cuts back a little bit, and the way the seats are kind of angled, I think that's going to make it real comfortable, because when your legs bend back, they'll bend back into here, and it'll feel like you have a ton of space. So yeah, I'm digging this car. Here's that infotainment system. Let me see. I'm pretty sure there's a better image with the infotainment system. Well, Here, let me see. All right, well, we'll go with this one. This is kind of like a weird looking drawing kind of deal, but here's the new infotainment system. I believe it was like two 12.3-inch screens is what they said. I mean, that's sick. That's gonna be awesome. That's very similar to the Ioniq 5. Looks nice. Looks like maybe like a little phone holder down here. Oh, look, all 4 window buttons. We're getting the ID.4, and it only has 2, so it's always nice to have 4. Look, got some cup holders. Yeah, nice design all in all. So I'm definitely excited about this new Kona. I was thinking Equinox, but based on depending on some factors with what this Kona brings, I may just get the Kona refresh, because the timing will be right for when I need to get a new car. Well, so that's kind of interesting. I wanted to check out the pricing. So currently, the 2023 Kona, it's priced at $33,550 for the SE, which is down here, which is a great deal. And I would just go with the SE trim. It's got lots of great features and whatnot. The SEL for about $4,000 more. You're gonna get power sunroof, a 10.25-inch touchscreen, so that's pretty nice as well. It might be worth going up to SEL if you can. So yeah, sweet. And then let's look at, I thought it'd be interesting to look at the Ioniq 5 pricing. And right now, as it stands, it's the, nope, that's the wrong one. Here it is. The SE standard range is $41,450. So it's about like a $7,000 difference from the Kona Electric, which gets 258 miles, but slower charging, to the Ioniq 5 standard range that gets 220 miles, but has faster charging. So I'm just wondering where Hyundai's gonna price the redesigned Kona at. Based on all the technology and the redesign, I'm thinking it's gonna have to be over $33,550. But then, since they currently don't qualify for the tax credit, I don't know who's gonna buy this car, because you could effectively get a better car cheaper with the tax credit. That might charge faster and might be bigger for the lower price than you can get this potentially the new redesigned Kona Electric. So I wonder if they maybe take a loss here and keep the price the same. Maybe they bump it $2,000 or $3,000. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting, but it's definitely a nicer vehicle. I think it's going to depend on battery capacity, range, and charging speed. If they could bump the charging speed up a little bit, it doesn't need to be, the 800 volt, but if it's the 400 volt and we can get even if it's 100 or to 150 kilowatt instead of the current max 77, that would totally be worth paying the more money. And the range, I wonder how the range is going to be affected by the tires. It looks like they made it a little bit more aerodynamic. Obviously, it's designed for an EV now, so that might help with range a little bit. So we'll have to see, but definitely interested with the Kona. So that's kind of that piece of news I thought was interesting. I want to share with you all and give you a little bit of my perspective. And then the other piece of news I wanted to bring about is this. All right. So again, we have a reservation for an ID.4. This letter actually doesn't really apply to us because we're probably getting our vehicle either next week or the following week. But I wanted to bring it up. So Volkswagen sent out an email to all reservation holders, and this is what it said. I'm not going to read it, but I'll scroll through so you all can read it on your own and you can pause and whatnot. But essentially, they are kind of trying to take action to get vehicles to purchasers or reservation holders, I guess I should say, faster. And their solution to this is to source batteries from LG. So they're going to be using SK and LG batteries for their vehicles. But what's kind of interesting and maybe frustrating for some about having these two different batteries is that the LG batteries are not going to charge as fast as the SK batteries. So here, I scrolled through that. You all can pause if you would like to read that. which is interesting. And they basically said if you have a reservation, you can go onto your reservation and look up and see what battery you can get. Well, you're going to get. I put up our reservation and it doesn't say it anywhere. So I'm not sure if that's just because we already are going to get the SK, which I'm sure we are because our car's already built, or if they're only doing it for like reservations from a certain date on. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, again, here they say 36 minutes for the LG and 30 minutes for the SK battery. And again, this is just for the rear-wheel drive ID.4. I should have said that at the start of this section of the video. And then the other news they broke, which was sad for some, is they're increasing the price by $1,500. You know, obviously any price increase is not great because people would rather get it cheaper, but it's not the worst pricing. At least it wasn't $4,000. But this could push some people out from being able to get this vehicle if they were interested, which is, you know, unfortunate. So here we got the ID.4 standard, $38,995, ID.4S, $43,995. Those are both the smaller battery pack vehicles, and then the Pro, which is what we are getting, that, and then so on and so forth. So that's a little unfortunate. And then once you tackle on the destination, you're putting like what our vehicle is at about, you know, $46,000, whereas we're getting it at much less than that. I believe it's $43,790 is what we're paying. So that's unfortunate. And then they are ending reservations January 4th, which, if I'm being honest, I love. The reservation system has been nothing but a nightmare. The only negative thing is dealer markups. I wonder how this is going to affect dealer markups if they're just allotted vehicles and it's on their lot. So that's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out down the road. But I think ultimately that's the right call and right decision to do for Volkswagen because their reservation system has been anything but ideal. It's so inaccurate and it's really disappointing for some people. So that's kind of it with the news I have for today. I just thought these are two kind of interesting stories. I'd love to get your opinions about the news. What are your thoughts about the Kona Electric? I love it, but if I were to get that vehicle over the Chevy Equinox EV when that comes out, the charging's got to be faster. It's got to have either the same range or a little bit more, because you know the Equinox is going to be 300 miles, and that is a higher trim though. It's not the base trim, but the trim I'm looking at is like 300 miles. The charging's going to be the Ultium battery, which, you know, the charging I've seen from that looks pretty good. So it's going to be tough, but I have a sweet spot for the Kona. But if they don't get that tax credit, they don't figure out the pricing scheme, and if the charging and range isn't there, then it might be the Equinox for me next. And then let me know, what are your thoughts about how Volkswagen is handling this situation? Honestly, I kind of like the transparency. They're not the first manufacturer to increase prices because of supply chain issues, so you can't really fault them for that. And again, I like the transparency. I like that they're shutting down the reservation system. I just think the reservation system's been a nightmare. So what do you think about it? Share in the comments down below. For those of you who have been following our videos, the ID.4 is coming soon. I've got lots and lots of videos planned for that. Some people have been giving me ideas. If you want to give me any more ideas, go ahead, drop them in the comments below. I've been saving them in a note on my iPhone so that I can make sure I make all that content and deliver it to you all. I hope you enjoyed this news video. I'm not going to do these all the time, but when I see some stories that I think are interesting, at least to the people who I believe are following this channel, I'm going to make those and break those news stories to you all. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you all next time.